If you want to fly a plane when you're traveling overseas, there are probably 4 ways that you can do it. 1 is pretty achievable, 2 are tricky, but you can do it. It just requires a fair bit of time and paperwork. And the 4th, to be honest, is pretty ridiculous. But today, as I'm here in Biggin Hill in the UK, about to take this Cirrus SR20 for a quick local flight around the southeast of England, I'm going to talk you through what those different ways are. So if, like me, you ever want to get your flying fix when you're traveling overseas, hopefully this video will help you understand some of the ways that you can do that.
Departing pilots read back the QNH and report Charlie received on first contact with Biggin Ground on 121.630.
Biggin Ground, good morning, Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray X-Ray on the main apron, received Charlie, QNH 1029, PPR 214 for a local flight, request start.
Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray X-Ray Biggin Ground, good morning, start approved, report ready for taxi.
Start approved and we're all report ready, Golf Sierra X-Ray X-Ray. Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray X-Ray. Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray X-Ray ready for taxi.
Golf X-Ray X-Ray taxi Hotel 1 for runway 03.
Hotel 1 for 03, Golf X-Ray X-Ray. Okay, this is cool, we're doing it. So I've got my taxi, I'm going to do my run-up checks when I get to the run-up bay. Not run-up bay, I'm going to do my checks when I get to the holding point. But basically checking that my compass is turning, when I'm moving the aircraft, compass is turning. Doors, caps handle, seatbelt shut on, kind of flaps 50% and check. Do that whilst I'm taxiing, flaps are set. We're on the fullest tank, autopilot checked and disconnect. Alright, that's my takeoff checks done. Biggin Tower, good morning, Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray X-Ray, ready, holding point. Hotel 1, VFR departure to the west.
Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray X-Ray, Biggin, good morning, hold position after departure. So left turn at 1 mile, squawk 7047.
Hold position and after departure, left turn 1 mile, 7047. Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray X-Ray.
Golf X-Ray X-Ray, runway 03. Surface wind is 360 degrees, 9 knots, clear for takeoff.
Runway 03, clear for takeoff. Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray X-Ray.
Golf X-Ray X-Ray and hold position, cancel takeoff clearance, acknowledge.
Holding position, cancel takeoff clearance, Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray X-Ray. Not going just yet.
Hi, Golf X-Ray X-Ray, runway 03, surface wind 360 degrees, 8 knots, clear for takeoff.
Runway 03, cleared for takeoff, Golf X-Ray X-Ray. Power coming in, temperatures and pressures are good. Airspeed's coming alive on both. .70 knots. Up we go. Making a left turn.
Golf X-Ray X-Ray, basic service, report passing a beam Kenley. Caution the glide in sight, it may be active. What level are you climbing to?
Basic service will report Kenley and we are climbing 2400 Golf X-Ray X-Ray.
As I climb out of Biggin Hill Airport, let me talk to you then about the ways that you can do something similar to what I'm doing today and fly a plane yourself if you are travelling overseas. Now, the first way, like I said at the beginning, is probably the simplest way to do it. And if you're only going for a short period of time, then I would probably recommend this is the best solution for you. And that is to find a local flying school and find a qualified instructor who can fly with you in the country that you're visiting. This way, the instructor is assuming the role of pilot in command, but you can still hands-on fly the aircraft. And this is something that I've done many times when I've travelled in the past, especially here in the UK, when you might have seen me flying on this channel in the past with my friend Philippe. And there are some obvious huge advantages to doing it this way because you're in a new country. There might be airspace differences, different procedures that you need to follow, different air traffic control communication phraseology, all of the things your instructor can help you with as you go flying. Doing it this way is also a great way to try new aircraft types. I mean, if like me, you've spent years flying the same aircraft back home, if you are travelling and you fly with an instructor, you can also choose to take up an aircraft you might not otherwise have got any experience in. The downside to doing it this way then, though, is cost. Now, you'll typically be paying not only for the aircraft hire itself, but for the fuel on top of that too. But of course, on top of that, you're paying for the instructor's time as well. So on purely an hourly rate basis, this probably is the more expensive way of doing it. But if you're only looking for a few hours in the air and just a taste of what it's like flying in the country that you're going flying in, this is often the quickest and easiest way to make that happen. But that's not the way that I'm doing things today because, as I'll tell you about in a second, it does get a little bit more complicated if you want to fly solo.
And now I can switch over to the area of the radar service, which will be Farnborough, 12525. Farnborough Lars, Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray, X-Ray.
Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray, X-Ray, Farnborough, departure message.
Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray, X-Ray is a Cirrus SR20 Biggin Hill to Biggin Hill, currently approaching Leatherhead from the west 2400. We're just doing basically a loop outside controlled airspace of Gatwick. Requests traffic service.
Golf X-Ray, X-Ray, QNH 1029 40434.
1029 and 0434 Golf X-Ray, X-Ray. So then we should hear back, because now we've got a score code of 0434. We should hear back from Farnborough in a second. Otherwise we keep trucking on. Not a bad day
Golf
for it.
X-Ray, X-Ray, identified traffic service.
Traffic service, Golf X-Ray, X-Ray.
Golf X-Ray, X-Ray, traffic, 10 o'clock, 3 miles, opposite direction, indicating 700 feet below.
Copy the traffic, looking, Golf X-Ray, X-Ray.
X-Ray, you'll be turning at Ockham.
Affirm, we're going to be turning southwest at that point, so we're turning towards them, but we'll keep an eye out.
But they just dropped another bit, so 800 feet below currently.
Understood, we'll let you know if we sight them. Thank you, Golf X-Ray, X-Ray.
I'll let you know if it climbs. With that, 700 feet below now. I'll let
Traffic,
you know if it climbs.
11 o'clock, low, 2 miles.
And traffic in sight, Golf X-Ray, X-Ray. No conflict from my side. There's quite a bit of traffic around here at the moment, even though the clouds, well, probably because the clouds are quite low, it's squeezing everybody down closer to the ground.
So what happens if you do want to fly solo when you're travelling? Well, there are kind of two ways that I've done this before in the past. First of all is to fly an aircraft that's registered in the country where you already hold your licence. Now, doing it this way, you may still need to complete differences training or do a local checkout flight with the company that you're hiring the aircraft through. So it's really important to check the applicable regulations beforehand. But once you're familiar with the local procedures and the legal requirements, this option actually allows you to operate as pilot in command without the ongoing cost of having an instructor next to you. And that's how I flew solo in the UK a couple of years ago. Because of my FAA license, I did have access to a November registered Cirrus aircraft, and after I completed the required instruction for insurance purposes to hire the aircraft, I could then take that aircraft into UK airspace and fly it on my own. Then the third way is if you already have a license in another country, some aviation authorities will allow foreign pilots to verify those qualifications and obtain privileges, sometimes limited, to fly aircraft registered in that region. In my case, verifying my CASA license required filling out a couple of forms, pay a fee to CASA in Australia to get them to send a verified copy of my license to the CAA, and undergo a familiarisation flight with a certified UK instructor, who then also had to sign those forms before that was all submitted to the CAA for approval. Now, the process can take several weeks. It took me about 14 days, and if approved, restrictions can often apply. Like in my case, I can only fly during day VFR conditions, even though I have an Australian instrument rating. There also can be time limits to these sorts of verifications. I'm allowed to fly up to a maximum of 28 days in a calendar year period.
Golf X-Ray, X-Ray, Gatwick inbound, just right over 12 o'clock, 4 miles, opposite direction, descending to 3,000 feet, an EasyJet.
Copied, and we'll look out for them. Golf X-Ray, X-Ray.
And whilst there is a fair bit of paperwork and it does take a bit of time and there is a cost associated with doing it this way, if you are travelling for a longer period of time, getting your licence verified does give you the freedom to be able to fly for longer periods of time on your own anywhere you want in the country. And in my flight today, well, I just crossed over to the eastern side of Farnborough Lars radar service, and it was time to make contact with the new controller.
Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray, X-Ray.
Golf Sierra Romeo X-Ray, X-Ray.
Sierra Romeo X-Ray, X-Ray from radar, hello, Squawk 1733, London QNH 1029, a basic service.
1733 and 1029, a basic service, Golf X-Ray, X-Ray. There's a few transponder changes you have to do here in the UK, which is a little bit different to flying in Australia. Farnborough has its radar service around London, and it's divided into the west and the east. I was obviously flying through the west side, and now I've gone into the east side, so not only do I get a new frequency, I actually got a new score code there, 1733 as well. And even though it's a reduced traffic service, it's good to know that if they're able to see other traffic and they have the ability to warn me about it, they will. But because this is a VFR flight, because I'm only allowed to fly VFR in this Gulf registered aircraft here in the UK, then I'm solely responsible now to look out for other traffic and see and avoid. A little bit greyer down here in the south of England at the moment as well. The clouds a little bit more overcast than I was expecting it to be today. Just shows with the long range forecast, I looked 2 days ago, it was supposed to be sunny this morning. But, it's definitely not, so it just shows you can't place your full faith into the long range forecast. It gives you a bit of an idea, like the temperature and the winds are pretty much as they were predicted to be, but the cloud base is very different. Poor old England hasn't had much rain in the last sort of 4 weeks that I've been over here, so everything looks really, really brown at the moment. Normally this area of Kent is a lot greener. Lead approach, Golf Sierra Romeo X-ray X-ray.
Golf Sierra Romeo X-ray X-ray, lead approach, very good morning, pass message.
Good morning, Golf Sierra Romeo X-ray X-ray. We're just coming into your zone at the moment. We're going to be tracking north in a second towards Maidstone, then into Biggin Hill. SR20 1POB, request basic service.
Golf X-ray X-ray, report your level please, QNH 1028.
1028, and we are maintaining 2,400 Golf X-ray X-ray.
Golf X-ray X-ray, basic service, scope 7066. Ditch area 44 to the south is active, report overhead.
7066, and we'll take a look out for that active area, Golf X-ray X-ray. We're going to turn north to Maidstone now.
Golf X-ray X-ray, report passing Ashford.
Report Ashford, Golf X-ray X-ray. It's actually really nice flying over this part of England as well, because I grew up in Kent, so I'm very familiar with some of the towns and the names and the places around here. And it's a real privilege, though, to be able to fly over the top of it and see some of the places that
Golf Mike Alpha final.
As a kid, never really realising that one day I'd actually be in an aircraft flying over the top of it. Not just flying over the top of it in an aircraft, but flying solo. And yeah, I just think like young me would be pretty proud down there on the ground. I always used to look up and see the planes flying over, and I was fascinated by them as a kid. So to think if I could go back and tell myself, you know, hey young Steph, one day that'll be you doing that, is a rare moment in my life where I actually feel proud. Alright, enough reminiscing and feeling sentimental. We're coming up to Ashford. I'm going to let Lyd know what we're doing. They'll probably hand us over to Farnborough. Then I need to get ready for Biggin, get handed over to Biggin approach, and then we need to land back at Biggin Hill.
And whilst I turn west again to head back towards Biggin Hill, let's talk about that fourth option, which can be, well, it can actually be quite easy, or it can be really hard, and all of that depends on where you live. And that option is, if you have access to an aircraft in your home country, fly it to the country that you're visiting. Now, in places like Europe, this can be surprisingly practical. But for those of us living in more remote parts of the world, like Australia, the time and the costs involved in doing something like that are, of course, considerably higher, making it a much less realistic option for trips like this. But if you do own and operate an aircraft in the UK, for example, having somewhere like Europe on your doorstep to be able to fly around in multiple different countries, getting used to different airspaces, procedures, air traffic control calls, I think is a fantastic way to sharpen your skills as a pilot. So if you do have something like Europe on your doorstep, I would thoroughly recommend you to chat to your instructor and maybe in the future plan a trip where you do fly into new countries.
Well, let's contact Biggin Hill now and get ourselves set up. Biggin approach, Golf Sierra Romeo X-ray X-ray.
Golf Sierra Romeo X-ray X-ray, Biggin, good morning, pass message.
Good morning, Golf Sierra Romeo X-ray X-ray. We are 11 miles to your east, 2,400. Received Delta 1029 inbound. Request joining instructions.
Golf X-ray X-ray, going from the east, reported 3 miles to run at runway 03, left-hand circuit and QNH, correct?
Join from the east, we'll report 3 miles, runway 03 for a left-hand circuit, Golf X-ray X-ray. I've got Biggin sighted ahead. Golf X-ray X-ray, we are 3 miles to the east, 1,600.
Golf X-ray X-ray, continue to join, report left-hand downwind, runway 03.
Continue to join, report left downwind 03, Golf X-ray X-ray.
Runway 06,
let's disconnect the autopilot. Bring us down a little bit, get our speeds sorted. 40 knots. 40 knots would be a bit slow. 40% on the power, just to slow us down a little bit. And we're joining overhead the airport. I'm going to put in a stage of flaps now.
Golf X-ray X-ray, report final, number 1.
Report final, Golf X-ray X-ray. Turning final.
500.
Golf X-ray X-ray, I'm short final 03.
Golf X-ray X-ray, surface wind 020 degrees, 11 knots, runway 03, clear to land.
03 clear to land, Golf X-ray X-ray. A little bit high on the pappies, but that's okay. A bit of a sink here. More power, there we go. And slowly on the brakes.
Golf X-ray X-ray, monitor Biggin ground 121.630.
121.630, Golf X-ray X-ray.
Flying in another country really opens the door to experiences that most travellers never get to have. And I think as aviators, it's not just our privilege, but it's kind of our obligation to experience the world in that way.
So flaps mixture, yeah, pitot heat comes off.
If you are a pilot watching this, I hope it's helped you encourage yourself to be a bit more adventurous and see if you can get a flight in the next time you go and travel overseas.
Make sure we can bring back a little bit. Good. What a brilliant experience.
Thank you as always for watching. I do appreciate your support here on the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.